Welcome back, friends of the farm. Just hot off the heels of an especially unimpressive Robusta Year 10 run, which we will, of course, continue to attempt because I need that achievement. But while we're at it, and especially since we have the Year 10 setting on, which changes what's available at the farmhouse, we're going to talk about one of the post-game systems here in Atomicrops, which is the Cat Trader. I think the Cat Trader shows up pretty early in the game, possibly as early as the first time you win in Year 1, but when you do, you get this system where you can have and trade cats, but by default, they don't do anything. You'll have to go into the field, into areas where you have to pay for a bridge to unlock all of these various effects. So that's the first thing. Once we have each of the cat dollies, then each of our cats at whatever level give us an itty-bitty percentage point towards whatever their effect is. Once we have enough of them, they'll start showing up here on these cat trees. Will give us additional challenge modes. So ostensibly that's what we're currently trying to go for. Here is the Shy Sculpture Garden, which is another endgame thing. Similar to the cats, the statues will start appearing in random plots in the later levels. Once you finish all of these, it does give you the achievement for having all of the different crops. So if you're doing what I'm doing, do not worry about getting that one the hard way. I would do it the easy way that takes longer. So I think we're fine to play as Robusta still. Really want to try... Love to try to take out a bunch of elites, but I don't know how realistic that is with our current standings. Winning without taking damage, of course, very, very unlikely. We really want this big sunflowers. Let's try clicking it down to Year 5. See what we can do. We will stay as Robusta for practice on the advanced games. It is nice, though, because it means that our first few turns will go by quickly. Not always well and quickly, but that's fine. Didn't really need to use our pickaxes there, because from how badly our run was, our sea vault didn't have much for us, so we'll just hold those and make good placements once we've got some more seeds here momentarily. One of the first things you'll probably notice when you're in Year 5, there's just a lot more enemies and camps, which makes it harder for us to find the golden pupa, and also enemies are more dangerous and cluster together, are more likely to trigger and aggro to us, so have to be a little bit more careful all around, especially with Robusta. Let's do cow first. Always trying to take out the trees because they create bad situations where we're boxed in. We prefer not to do any of these bat zones if we can't help it, but since they're guarding a choice upgrade, we will do that. Both of these are fantastic. I think we'll go butchers, unfortunate as that is, to see swine turrets go. Possibly that will reoccur later sometime, as I may have stated before. Usually with the binary choices, it is very, very unlikely. Probably we'll have to get as lucky as getting a polygamy, almost said polyamory, to get a chance to reroll the existing item pool. Got a good number of cabbage seeds. Grab these berry bushes. Did not get anywhere close to finding the pupa. Maybe we'll try to clear this squirrel. Okay, still nothing. That's fine. Focus on getting these cleared. 5 pickaxes is pretty good. Try to get that all westward towards our well. Start with the roses. Try to get all of that in. Do have sunflowers somehow, which is good. Need a bunch more of those. Sunflowers are a rare crop that are helpful because they grow immediately, and they're kind of just like a dump where you can turn your fertilizer into money. So it does very little if you don't fertilize it. I think it only scores like 2 cashews, pretty horrible. But for each segment you can get it to grow, it scores an additional 2. You can do that a bunch of times. I think it's something like 8 times or something. They can make you a bunch of cash really quickly. And they are almost always at very low risk of being eaten by enemies. Another interesting thing, which I usually forget to mention, but is one of the more fascinating details of this game, you probably see that we're seeing a lot more slug enemies already. They're common in year 1, but usually not so many of them on the first couple of days. Is no longer true in year 5. But what's interesting about the slug enemies is it's really the game punishing you for not growing crops fast enough. If you ever fail to have a plant, the slugs will aggro and they'll start shooting bullets in all directions. So they become very, very challenging when you have no crops for them to try to eat. Which I think is a very, very funny thing that a Acrobatops does. That's how the name of the game is pronounced. I don't really think we need the plain seeds. Not that the small amount of cash is going to do much for us. We will absolutely take Laser Tracker, as that'll improve our number 1 ROG up there. Go ahead and head back. Go and harvest that. But we don't really need to. I'm gonna try to clear all of this. I think most of this south is not explored. Yep. So the reason we took that butcher knife there, just in case we get stuck in the mid-game and we're not improving our farm or crops as quickly as we would like, that will make all of our guns always have the butcher knife, so a bunch of free damage is always super helpful. You might have been able to see there, it was the bats that were empowered by Corpsicopia, so we had to clear all of them to make the skulls go away. It likes to do that in the plain regions, which is why sometimes people skip those on year 5 and up. That was some silly damage. But we're rewarded with organic armor, which is a really good defensive item that clearly we're going to need. Check on the farm. Probably plant and harvest some. Try to have a semi-reasonable crop layout here. Grab that egg. One of the other advantages about how strange Atomicrops is, like aiming brain, is once we start doing something like weeding a weed or tilling soil or anything, you can really run away from it, and it will continue to do that farm action where you left it. Of course, you still have to be mindful of where that is, because it will absolutely allow you to plant things like trees or whatever else completely horrible locations that don't help you at all. So, always things to be mindful of in this game. As we reach the nighttime, take some more goopy damage. Try to snag this tractor. Get hit a couple times. You know how it goes. We have plenty more roses, so we're probably going to get to Water Quizzes Stage 2. Hopefully it's something helpful for us. You can see the angry slugs now, so we fail to have a crop. We should fix first off. Take a breather there. I'd rather not have either of these to start. I guess we'll grab Ice Saw. Unfortunately not immediately help us with anything. From some of the many farmhouse upgrades I've worked through, I do have something that allows this dig home tractor to be used kind of like a pickaxe, so that does help a lot. We generally prefer every other tractor to this one, just because the farming utility of this is relatively very low, but still going to help. Still an advantage we need to make over the game. interesting things about gaining the winter crops in a tundra bed is the winter crops generally grow much slower, but they need way less water than everything else. That does help a lot. I'd love to scythe, but I think we have to jackrabbit just to get our core stats raised. Not super excited about that. Won't be able to afford that. I think we must buy this, unfortunately. Fertilizer Pro will help. Ah, the sling is super, super good. And now it's gone. But try to get our garden bed here in this nice little corner. We'll have some water-tilled soil, which are winter crops that we are yet to claim any of. Will not care one lick about. Actually, we'll go ahead and spend this here. Score some extra dirt. Try to clear some moles. No immediate benefit to harvesting all of those, so we'll just go ahead and bridge it up. Take the tree fert. Clear foxes. Okay. Will not be wise of us to buy a fighting upgrade. That's okay. We'd sort of rather have farming at this stage anyway. That is what Watercress would have given us, but already made that bed. In some of the early years, it can feel almost comical, the number of marriage upgrades you can attempt to get. In the later years, it's a pretty aggressive choice. I didn't explain what that upgrade does. The exploding butterflies just basically gives us free homing damage whenever any of our crops merge, ideally with a garden bed run, which it looks like we might be heading towards. That will happen a lot of times. Looks like we're going to gain another pig. Actually, we should take a turret, so we have the turret upgrade. Unfortunately, the pigs could have also had the turret upgrade, but that's already setting on as well. We are at the spring boss, which I definitely knew and am not surprised by. Whoop, here we go. It's Gastropod. The fun bonus fact about the behavior of slugs also 100% applies to Monstropod. So, pretty tough to sometimes come back for your boss fight, realize you have no crops, and then begin an extremely challenging round. Monstropod is also one of the smallest possible bosses, I think, if not the smallest. I guess McDonald is pretty similar, but has a pretty large aggressive range, so it does not seem to be diminutive in any way. Try to jam these roses down while it's got a second. Every various type planted. I guess we need this turret somewhere. How about there? That's a good spot for you. Looks like we did not water our rows enough. We're not going to be able to get any of those. That's okay. Both of these are probably a pretty good idea. I think we'll go ahead and take... Well... more modifiers is really tempting. I think that'll pay off for us. Hopefully we get lucky with drops. There might be a heartbeat in here. Oh, we've got this one at least. That's unfortunate. Shy of getting the additional cornucopia was why we're doing this, but good upgrade cycle, so it's not like we're doing horrible. Way below being able to buy another tractor. Probably will try to immediately harvest some things. Go ahead and beta unlock the jungle and check on desert. Probably smart. Go ahead and use the blood rain, although we absolutely don't need to. We'll grab the cheat there for a few extra glorious seconds. Rusty SMG, notably, despite, I mean, in addition to having all of the higher damage from being a higher tier weapon and raising our fighting set and everything, it's an infinite fire weapon, which with our weapon modifiers makes it very, very good. So that should help, although of course we're still gonna have all of our many friends in the desert. In the previous segment, I might have advised to not challenge the car, which is definitely still true. With what we have going on, the danger level is so high, I'm basically going to try to clear every enemy anytime I see them ever. Robusta runs can kind of get like that. Sometimes this game is generous with when enemies decide to aggro to you, and other times it's really, really not. We're almost always going to default to playing safer, or relatively safer, I mean. Almost got enough free money from the berry bushes there to pop open Desert 2. We're way not strong enough to do that right now. Atomic Orchid. Wonderful, wonderful news. Won't have anywhere near enough time to do anything in Winterland. Guess it's Drone City here. Ah, the actual calm moon. Fantastic. I guess that would have been a great point to show off the moon monster, but I'm really worried about that. So this is one of the very few times that Atomicrops literally gives you a break. The only enemies that spawn during the true calm moon and not one of the many blood moon variants are these glowing radish things, which I guess the community or something call the loot lanterns. I call them radishes, but you know. Super important, they will drop a bunch of free fertilizer, and fertilizing every money-yielding plant is a fantastic idea. It makes them always score much, much higher. Obviously, we always need is we're always money-hungry in every run. They also have a really high chance to drop the pickaxes and the scrolls, or what I sometimes call the spells, summon the pigeons and doves and falcons, and allow us to rapidly change our farm, so. Take the Plains Gator. Again, there's no real, like, cost to missing the lanterns, but it's with no enemies spawning, really trying to. It's very important, very helpful to get as many of those as we can. Go ahead and try to get a bunch planted. Could have used the gator a little bit more intelligently there. Lay them all down. Ah, didn't get to pick up that cash there. Of course, now we're very behind on buying new weaponry. We're pretty okay with what we have, but obviously, ideally, our base weapon would keep escalating with damage. We'll go ahead and do that. 2 heartbeats is kind of a bad draw comparatively for the dating pools, but really just trying to prioritize anything that will strengthen us. prefer not to have jungle beds. I was really hoping for desert beds there, but got plenty of those seeds. Go ahead and get that started. Try to pop that there. Okay. Winter time. The unfortunate thing about the fox and roach enemies is that they're just respawn like crazy in these years, basically from 5 up. The rabbit enemies and other things that live at the camps are way less likely to do so. I should have checked the map better. We're just retreading all of our same ground. But everything that just wanders afield, they can respawn whenever they please, which is basically every day. Okay, propagators age garden bed crops is very good. Jungle beds create their own seeds. Gotta do jungle beds, I think. Can't remember if it was a recorded run, but you can occasionally get a soft lock where if you have a very specific spread of garden upgrades, you will fail to gain any new seeds of those types. So ideally we mitigate that by buying the greenhouse looking upgrade for each of those, so that whenever whenever we are harvesting something from a garden bed, it will refill automatically. I think we must take stolen land, although it would be very, very helpful probably. This game gets a little bit harder to talk to as the higher difficulties. That's why I'm doing this. Get all of that knocked out, cleaned up. I would love to return to my farm. Not really close to the mole hole. Really, both of those were good. Gourd and many chickens are both fantastic and would do us a great help, but hunt of chickens because weeds are going to be really one of our larger challenges from basically until the end of the run. Fortunately, the sniper. Try to get those roses down, although we know that we're 7 away from marriage, obviously. Keep looking at you. Don't want to plant turnips. Will kind of plant and improve our propagator placement best we can. Okay. I do think we take Cactus Saw and we'll get kicked back to town. Sorry, just rapidly checking the stats there. I know that makes a brighter screen come up, but we'll be alright. Whiskey shot is pretty significantly likely to happen to us during this run, but let it be. Microchip, getting really rewarded by our old daily upgrade there. Now our little drone army will be much more powerful. We take those. In case you haven't figured out by this point, this game do be cheating, so well, anytime it gives us the tools to kick back, we do those. Improve our tundra beds, try to get that placed. Okay. Still didn't see the tree guardian at all. Oh, we had a mole hole we didn't use. That's fine. Using Par Sniper Rifle with only 2 ammo is kind of troublesome, but since its distance, I think is just maximum or infinite, it is very good at clearing problems, but you have to be pretty judicious with our shots, unfortunately. Luckily, our drones will compensate for that pretty significantly. Looks like we've got a good amount of cows, too. It seems like our crops are never going thirsty for too long. Pretty impressive. I think we can buy that. We're gonna try to use our weasel friend to escape home when we apparently are very likely to run out of time. I'm not sure what is causing thunder. I don't think we have a modifier on the first sniper rifle, but I'm not gonna argue with it. Hard to outrun these as Robusta. I really don't want to trigger the Free Guardian. Just trying to open up this shortcut for us. Just barely too short. UFB is a tough fight on First Sniper Rifle, but luckily our many broad area effects will help significantly. Probably going to try to take all of our drones and everything from us. We have to be sort of mindful of that. Atomicrops is kind of funny with that because in most games like this, you would probably prioritize trying to clear the ads, but in Atomicrops, you always just have to pick out the boss every time, because every boss in this game is an enemy spawner, so... we don't let them. Really good clear on UFB, so I won't pretend that I'm unhappy with that time or relatively low or no damage being taken. Get some planes going. I feel like we're getting a lot of eggs right now too. Propagator adds to trees. Not feeling very tree-ish this run. Although the trees are always good. That's a good subject. So, as you might have seen earlier, it's okay if you didn't, we are going pretty fast with everything. Before you get the tundra beds of this crop type, whatever, those upgrades, you can freely plant anything in a tundra bed. Sorry, not a tundra bed, any garden bed. And they will have a slightly higher defense and some other random effects because of it. But it also, you're not allowed to merge over the garden bed lines, which, you know, is pretty self-explanatory. Anything that keeps us from getting the more powerful versions of the crops and their extra cash payout is a pretty significant impact. I kind of want Beehive, but I don't think we can take it. Do we have a turret sitting around in our pockets? We do not. Okay, I honestly think we buy a turret and then we'll head back. Already in fall, adrenal bulb. The opposite of terrible. Not the greatest thing either, but hey. So you can see we can't place our garden bed anywhere we'd like to because there are random crops of other types. So you can place whatever in a bed once it's there, but you cannot place a bed over things that don't match it. Sort of contradictory, but our aiming reticle tells us all of that, so not the worst thing. Not the strangest system in this very odd game, rather. I don't think that's like optimal turret placement, but it will get work done, so that's all we're really hoping for. Really gotta try to... Oh, it did add Weasel. That's generous. Take advantage of that then. I really just need to try to quickly clear Free Guardian. Good. Pumpkin Head. Don't have a Scarecrow. What normally happens when you get a Pumpkin Head. Unlike all the mole holes, the Weasel does last, so you can always count on that one to be there. It is generally helpful. It's not very specifically helpful, as you've probably seen, because it just always puts us at the top of whatever region, but still saves you a lot of time, especially when you might be going through relatively dangerous regions. Bad damage there, but we got our farm up, so fine. Oceans are really damage. Winter 2 is a tier 2, but just for Scarecrow upgrades, I think that's tough. Winter 2 is a pretty tough zone. We would have ideally avoided that for quite a while, just convenient with whatever else we had going. Propagators. I know there are far too many distinct upgrades in this game, but if you're trying to play along at home, when you take the Propagator upgrade class, you should always take the gator that looks like an avocado. It's called the Vegan Gator. It's the one that allows us to plant over not perfectly tilled soil and weeds, and that's almost always one of the best upgrades you can get in any run. So you have to have at least one gator to get it going. Almost all of the time you'll have at least one. There's a real actual pro tip from you. I promise I do things in this game besides take damage from low rating. Because it is year 5, we do have to be mindful. Evil weeds will try to grow and will become. They are capable of becoming super evil weeds. None of those are the official names, and I don't care. In the earlier levels, they don't occur at all. I think that's only years 1 and 2. Basically everything from that point they will. It's hard to take care of all of your weeds, but you're supposed to. That part's like real life. Again, we're woefully short of roses for Chris, who's being ever patient this run. Have a lot of cash, but we're probably just gonna have to go buy bridges. Let's see. Sweatband is very nice, as opposed to Horse and some of the other upgrades, which are quickly faster. I think Sweatband only gives you something like a 15% speed increase, but as our town here, we really want all of that we can have. It'll make it so much easier to avoid the situations we're putting ourselves in. Probably most of today is just going to be quietly trying to chew through planes to waves of enemies. If the Ufa were not excellently equipped to deal with the Tree Spirit, but the unique enemies and modifier of the Plains Tree Spirit is way more forgiving than all the other ones. So we can probably get through this with relatively little slip-up, although we're going to have to keep spraying and praying. I'd like a hummingbird, but I think we must get a scarecrow, because we have a few scarecrow improvements that really benefit us to be taking advantage of. The ever-popular pumpkin head. Just so few items in the boss pool, you're almost always going to get one of those. But pumpkins give us a lot of money, so we're pretty happy to see that happen. Never a bad thing. The defensive properties of scarecrows also something I generally have erroneously misunderestimate. We will make sure we're watered there, so we appear to be pretty thirsty. Probably planted about 100 blades props at home, so that's probably correct. pretty good clear there. Soft fur, an amazing animal enabler. We have some amount of. Head back. Make sure we're fertilizing. Grab everything. I think we're gonna have to go with desert beds there. We do have the invincibility tracker now. Though it lasts such a short amount of time. Will probably help be able to drop that when some very bad boss things happen. There's a bunch of those coming up. Not tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, high odds that will be our moon night. Oh wait, no, we already have the clear moon, so we'll have a real wave. I think there's a really, really low chance that we could have greater than one moon, but it's something like microscopically small. You basically expect to have one or fewer of those every run. And most of the time, if/when you have the DLCs installed, it will be the blood moons, where slugs visit you, or the USB, or whatever. But all fine. Make sure we get our roses planted, put our scarecrow somewhere kind of sensible. Probably need to move that turret. Oops. Okay, we can buy the gold shimmer jackrabbit, which we should absolutely do. That's the game trying to indicate to us that it is a rare version of the weapon. So, thanks, game. Water witching would be immensely powerful. Greatly wish we could have that. Kind of don't need to buy the extra beet seed though. I think we'll hold on to our roses. This worked out, very helpful. Are about 30 minutes in, or well, probably greater. I really only glanced at the timer for a second there. Today is the day of the boss. Prefer not to do anything super risky. Haven't done anything double, so let's try to scoop up some free loot down here. Notably, this year, chicken. Year 5 is one of the flat difficulty upgrades, so you'll notice that the things like the panthers get extra turns to try to attack you. The Venus flytraps spawn more flies, more earthing all the time. Panthers don't always attack in the same way, but it's the same logic, so you have to, like everything in this game, they create a corner that they try to trap you into. Ugh, boring. We take a placenta, that's not ideal. Plenty of time to try to pop this. If we get a good spawn close to us. Yep. Ah, duckling. It's wonderful. I don't have to worry about paying any of those other entrance fees. It's really nice. I think we absolutely take watering tank over our dear caribou. Try to beat that back here so we can throw down some fertilizer and try to make some things happen. Okay, our light damage did damage Spore, before it got 10% to our cutscene, which is pretty neat. With the number of drones we have, this boss will be a little bit more under control than it sometimes is. We do still have to be careful and be pretty aggressive against it. It will quietly try to overwhelm us from the corners of the boss arena if we allow it the opportunity to do so. also one of the very few things in this game that doesn't make some sort of irritating noise when it's just sitting there, which would be very helpful for me, trying to listen over all of the gibbering of our plants. It's fine. Try to get rid of all of those. Really love to get all of these rows of plants, get at least 1 mega rose. Try not to walk into just a giant horde of enemies that damage on contact. Mostly unscathed. Good. Back to plains. We have already maximized plains. Not surprising, given the way our crop. But trying to snag as many of those as we can. Pretty good yield, looks like. Oh, I'd love to have that spud rifle. Honestly, both of those. Doesn't look like we're gonna make it there, though. And we did not. Can't get married still. Oh, it did give us water witching, though. Okay. Fantastic news, and very unlikely. Take that. Also, there was a drone turret upgrade just sitting in the seasonal store, which is free pogs for us, so we absolutely take that. 1 thorn is not going to be the most impactful. Wow, that's crazy. Of course, we will still take any of that. Trying to get a little bit of preparation done. Go ahead and play that also, I guess. Oh, already had a scroll going. Didn't really need to do that. Okay, well, quick use of our shortcut. Try to grab all the rest of these here. I think Scarecrow does more for us than a bee. Looks like that might be jungle clear. Crazy as that is. Won't need to purchase this. We'll go ahead and cross the region. Oh, we did buy it already. Probably didn't have the tree spirit at the time. Or I was intentionally introducing a challenge mode. Sure, let's look at it that way. Oof. Must turret, I think. You might have seen that microscopic text pop up that said heat drop. That is one of the rare commodities that we want cats and the other upgrades to give us even tiny percentage points towards, because it will just automatically give us 1 more health when we're damaged, which happens a lot in this game, if you're me. Do have the friendly ghost there, so that's also super good. Basically is the same as our turrets. Unknown if she is getting the benefits from all of our turrets. Probably not, because the game almost certainly will not treat those identically, but... Did I not collect that time up mushroom? It's fine. Drop back, stack all of these, try to level up, fail to level up. Let's go. Since we're low-key relying on the butterflies from the crops merging for so much of our damage, we're going to try to avoid doing it until the party bus arrives. Now in front of you. Got tons of fertilizer, but I'm standing in a odd position. Trying to help sweep as best we can. One of those odd upgrades we got will cause it so that collecting eggs yields fertilizer, which is helpful. As always, nothing in Atomicrops is ever, like, truly insurmountable. Just trying to trick you into making bad decisions by flooding you with lots of information. Kind of a great spot here, I think. I think we take pistol whip. 7K is pretty good. Of course, we're still below the threshold anyway. But we finally have 10 of these, so we will collect water grifts. The ever fascinating Glub Clerble. Thanks, babe. Take Scary Mask, plant a Scarecrow, so that's what that does. What that works with, rather. Have those, let's try, I think we want a northern-ish turret. Trying to go for pretty near full coverage. Unlike some of our spouses that could join us in the field, Water Chris will stay at the farm. Will help water the farm, most notably, is very, very helpful. Root Soldiers will basically guarantee that we win the game. It's sort of stunning to me that Root Soldiers is not a boss drop. I would definitely think it should be because of how good it is. Rake is really good, but I think we just gotta take flat stats. The Rake really just raises your collection radius, which is not what the description makes it sound like it would do, but when we're clearing enemies and their rare resources, their fertilizer and seeds are just fading so quickly, Rake makes it feel very powerful especially in the late stages of the game, or anytime we're in a chaotic region like this one. We are energized right now. We would have infinity pickaxes to try to use at our farm if we were there. Oh, Earthquake will do about the same thing. Excellent. Sweet. Done here. No moleholes anywhere. Gonna have to try to kite south here. Please. Okay. Rambo Rabbit slowly firing bullets just behind us. Awesome. Probably a lot more turtles right now. Probably will shortly, but feels odd that we're running out so quickly. I guess we're just spending it all so quickly. Rambos, cherry bombs, snipers. Trying to get roses planted. Mega roses will always yield one more rose to spend on the dating pools. So obviously try to do that every time. We will go ahead and make sure that all of our gardens are moist. Most of ours are for the dry crops, but still definitely worth doing. Can buy what is probably the full strength Spud rifle, which is super good. Hopefully that will carry us through winter. We're possibly not in amazing shape to ever buy any of the other weapon upgrades. That's just kidding. We're not doing that bad. Just have taken a lot of damage. Go ahead and set Desert to auto merge. I think is a good decision.
Someone said they wanted bars. We'll drop that. Could try to grow a grand banana tree. Yeah. Let's see. We need to finish Desert 2 and Tundra 2, both of which will be pretty tough. The farm score is super duper high, and our fighting score is less. That was our own turkey I tried to fire at. That's okay. Yeah, we'll do that. We do have ducklings, so ducklings and headband should make that pretty easy. We have a really, really good weapon also. Got kind of lucky with jungle doing a... Oh, I should have actually done fighting. Doing that relatively early and sort of risky. We had a pretty good weapon at the time. Now we have an excellent weapon, so this should go pretty smoothly. I guess a turret would also been great for us. Sort of running out of spaces where I'm happy to place one though. Really rather have more drop-in room. So notably, we do also have the squirrel weapon attachment, so we will occasionally fire squirrels and butcher knives. As much as I love the many farming upgrades, most of the flat weapon improvements are an auto draft. You can see all the work they've done for us. Would have really preferred to not take that exact damage, just this, but give us a second to stabilize. We'll harvest all of these. Itsy bitsy. Itsy bitsy is of course super fast and dangerous. Great. Should hopefully be able to overwhelm that with flat damage, but it seems like it's going a little tough. Zap is helping us clear all of those small ads. It's what it is so good at doing. Bitsy just fully running out of the boss arena there a bunch of times. It's totally allowed and something we're not upset about. Got hella pumpkins too. I can just plop those down. We have 10 sunflowers, so we're kind of only too short from trying to do the sunflower thing. That would be excellent. Will be pretty hard still, though. We're still gonna need like 1,000 fertilizer or something. Basically, we'll have to find the Slop Lord if he's anywhere in winter or desert too. 53 minutes for winter, huh? That's cool. I'm alright with a longer one. Get lots of points to buy kitties with, at least. Oh wait. Hang on, is that it? It is. Oh. Whoops. Well, I miscalculated. We won't be doing anything afield. We will just be speaking to Big Sir, but that's fine. I was about to say, I thought it would take him. Thought the time didn't line up. This is why. Of course, the rumbling and eerie silence that signals that it is definitely nuclear winter. Definitely my opinion that Corputopia should make more noise as it spawns, but the silence is also kind of terrifying, so I get it both directions. but as ever, I think we're in a pretty good spot. Usually we do all of the hard work and struggling in those early phases. We're pretty well set up by when we get to here. A lot of our incidental things are going to deal ridiculous amounts of damage to old Corpsey. Once we start this harvest pattern, it's going to go pretty great for us. Of course, as the years go up, Corpsecopia is stronger, takes more hits to wear them down. They're seeing we're actually noticing some of the other auxiliary attacks, or however you want to call it, but we're free and clear into the surplus now. Gonna mostly try to take advantage of our garden beds for that until we run out. Try to get our propagators placed. Again, we're really trying to get as much value out of this in particular as we can on any fairly good run. This is a ridiculous way to get a lot of extra cornucopias that possibly the game did not intend us to receive for a run. But of course, this will probably still be way below my best score on 10. That's usually how that shakes out. Just a few more. Okay. Certainly not bad by any stretch of the imagination. A free tier 4 cat, which does whatever the giant cat does. Cutting in just a little bit under an hour. Pretty good. It's a strong finish there. So let's check on the thing. Okay, so tier 6. Really trying to push our way up into tier 6 because we have to evolve these again. So we have to have 3 of each of these and then upgrade it to get these guys, which I think just randomly unlock once you get those to reroll. But we really don't have enough 5s to get up there, or 4s really. That's what the large cat does, is whatever that symbol is supposed to mean. Let's go glance at it. What view is that? Oh, that's the bark skin percentage. Okay. So bark skin is super duper good. That just means that we have a reasonable chance to not take damage when we're supposed to be hit. So obviously pretty good. Even though we've got 35 chances of that there, it's really 35 times 0.005. So go ahead and upgrade a bunch of those. Quickly hammer through and buy just about 100 tier 1 cats. Okay. And you can hear the chorus of madness out here as there's about 70 of them standing over here and making all of the sound effects. So really, because we're trying to get up to this stage and get all of these things, that's why we're going to keep trying to do difficult runs like that. Honestly, I'm probably about to do another one. Try to do about the same. But that's where we're at. We're trying to get as many kitties as we can, because it's going to take a whole lot of spended money to get all the way up here. But super cool and super worthwhile once we can get to these and unlock their challenge modes. So hope to catch you next time. I had some sort of witty catchphrase, but it's gone, so stay cropping.